Students, good morning to all. Here I am with the second part of the same poem, poem number 3, that is Keeping Quiet. We have already seen the first part. In that, I have covered the explanation of the entire poem. Here, I would like to discuss with you few question answers as well as extract question answers. Now, so let's begin. Question number 1. Life is what it is all about. How is keeping quiet related to life? Fine. So life is what it is all about. As I have already explained in my earlier video, here poet Pablo Neruda says that life has to go on. You can't put full stop, right? You can't bring life to an end. So here we can write in this way: live life to its fullest in order to live quality life. Fine. So we have to live life. We can't bring sudden end to life. So here total inactivity does not mean that we have to stop everything, right? So life has to go on. And poet here urges all the people to live quality life. Now quality life refers to further, we can say life full of happiness, peace and satisfaction. So ultimately the poet says that how this keeping quiet is related. When you keep quiet, when that is the habit of thinking deeply, that is meditation, introspection, retrospection, that will help people to live quality life. Second question: what will possibly be the effect of keeping quiet? Yes, we every time we say we keep quiet, we introspect, we meditate, right? So what are the effects? First, mutual understanding among all people, right? So people, when they keep quiet, when they just stop for a moment, for a few counts, and then they relax, they just meditate, they can think, right, how to bring peace and harmony within themselves and with others. So we can say mutual understanding among all people, and mutual understanding further will bring what? Feeling of brotherhood and an inexplicable peace would surround us. Inexplicable refers to the peace which we cannot explain. When we meditate, you see, during the assembly, when the entire school, right, sit for the meditation, you can some sudden strange, we can say, peace surround us, envelop us. So that is what which we cannot explain, that is inexplicable. Greed and selfishness will be replaced by unity, love and harmony. Correct. Today's world is full of greed, full of selfishness, self-centered people. So all these negative qualities will be replaced by the positive qualities. That is unity, love and harmony, peace, brotherhood. This is what the present world need. One can correct his wrongdoing and stop all his harmful activities. So when we introspect, we come to know where we are wrong. So we can stop all those things and we can just divert our mind towards the positive outlook and towards the good deeds. Fine. Third question: which images in the poem Keeping Quiet show that the poet condemned violence? Now the poet is speaking about 3 wars, right? Green wars, wars with fire and wars with gas. Fine. So here Pablo Neruda gives the images of green war, that is wars with environment, war with fire, nuclear war, and war with gas, that is chemical. What he says, because then what the first poet is giving the images of these 3 wars, example of these 3 wars, then associates these wars with victory with no survivor, right? This is to emphasize the fact that wars will bring an end to the entire human race. So you won't have any, even if you feel that okay, we gained, there will be victory, but no survivors will be left. So he says wars will bring an end to the entire human race. Fine. So this shows that he condemned violence. Next question, question number 4. Why is Pablo Neruda against total inactivity? Here again we are repeating one or the same way. I have already told, total inactivity means doing nothing for long time. We can say death here. Fine. Pablo Neruda doesn't want total inactivity. He only wants human being just to take out few moments from their hectic schedule of their life and just relax, meditate and introspect. Fine. So you can say poet, total inactivity means death, and poet here firmly believes in life. So poet has a firm belief in life, and he simply wants us to take a break from the hectic, aimless life. Here we can write aimless, because when we have to do introspect means we are leading aimless life, self-centered life. We are just involve ourselves in the destructive activities. Fine. So poet wants us to come out from there, just to think for a while, just think the consequences of what are you doing, and then you think of something good. Now here I have taken few extract, right? Let's say the first one. And now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. Here I have given only the questions. I am just discussing with you right now. So you just carefully listen. You may note down while listening, but I have not given answers here. Fine. So these answers you have to write only in one word sometimes, only one sentence, but it should be, we can say, relevant to the poem. Now let's begin here. Why does poet tell the people to count to 12? Now here why? The question is why. So we can write so that they might keep quiet, meditate and introspect. Fine. So don't go around the bush. You have to write reference to the text up to the mark, then only you will get 1 full marks. Second question. Why does the poet say that let's not speak in any language? Right? Poet says let's not speak in any language because speech can breed, I told you, barriers between people. We can write speech can breed contempt, hatred and discrimination. So poet advises to keep silent rather than quarrel. And I have earlier video I have told he wants us to speak the language of silence. Fine. So only that, because language, different types of languages, that brings contempt, hatred and discrimination. So it is advisable to keep quiet and silent. What happens when we move our arms so much? We know when do we move our arms? When we become aggressive. Fine. So man moves his arm only to show aggression and to hurt, to destroy others, to kill others, to hurt others. So thus the poet says that it is better not to move our arms so much, keep quiet and meditate. I hope it is clear. Let's go to the second extract. It would be an exotic moment, without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Now here the first question is, when you will read all the 3 questions, you will find like more or less same answer, but answers are not same. Let's see the first one. What would be an exotic moment? Here the emphasis is on what. Okay. So what would be an exotic moment? So here you may write the moment when everything would be still and quiet. That would be an exotic moment. For exotic you can use few more synonyms: unusual, extraordinary. Fine. Why would it be an exotic moment? The second question emphasizes on why. Right? Why? Because we can say that men would not hurrying and rushing about first. Right? If man would not hurry, man would keep quiet, then there would be total silence without the sound of engines and machines. That's why that moment would be an exotic moment. You can write. Why would there be a sudden strangeness? Just now I have told. During the meditation time, when we sit, the entire school sit for meditation, some sudden strange silence, extraordinary peace within us surrounding that envelop us. Fine. So you can write, there would be sudden strangeness because we feel what we feel as a feeling of brotherhood and inexplicable peace would envelop everyone. That's why that moment is a sudden strangeness. Fine. Third extract. What I want, I have not taken the that few extract I have left because it's very easy and I have taken in the form of the question answer, so I left it. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. Okay, the poet says. So here the first question, what does the poet mean by total inactivity? We have already seen, that is death, doing nothing for long time period. Fine, this you can write. What is life about? So life is a continuous process. What you can write? What is life about? So life is a continuous process and it must go on. Fine. And by total inactivity, one will only bring life to a halt, which is quite an unrealistic idea. That is not realistic. Fine. Poet does not want us to be to have an unrealistic idea. That poet wants that life is continuous process. It has to go on. Explain, I want no truck with death. Right? So in this phrase, Pablo Neruda says that when he speaks of introspection and silence, he does not want it to be associated with death. That's why he says, I want no truck with death. No truck here with, don't associate it. Don't associate what I say with death. Okay, don't. Fourth extract. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Right? This is the extract. Number 4. What does the poet mean by single-minded? When man selfless, we can say with the self-centered, thinks only about his personal achievements and progress without involving anyone, or we can say without caring about anyone. It means that he thinks single-mindedly. Now, today's people are so much of self-centered. They just bother about themselves. They don't worry. Even at the cost of others also, they won't benefit. That's the simple meaning of single-minded. How will a huge silence interrupt this sadness? What does the poet say here? See, try to understand. When one keeps quiet and stops all kinds of destructive activities, then what will happen? One is forced to think and introspect. Then only then there will be some benefit. Fine. So you can, if huge silence, sadness, which sadness poet talks about here? Sadness of being self-centered. Please take note. Sadness of being self-centered poet is talking about. So how huge silence might interrupt this sadness? If you keep quiet and relax, introspect, meditate, you will come to know what are you doing. Fine. So we can speak to our inner voice and we get the message. Yes, what I am doing is not right. That way we can bring peace, harmony within ourselves and with others as well. Explain this sadness of never understanding ourselves. Now what happens? Again the same. Question seems like same. No, answer seems same. But no, you have the presentation should be different. Here you can write, man in his pursuit of for personal gain, has forgotten his emotional needs. You see, in the today's world, people are so much of mad rush in order to gain and gain. Okay, so one or the other way, he has forgotten his emotional needs. Why? And emotional needs that we are social animal. We need family members, we need friends, we need our society. Fine. And man just does not bother about his emotional needs, and in the bargain, along with this, continuous mindless activity. This all activities has left man sad and lonely. You see, children nowadays, we hear the word depression, very common, that people the person has gone into depression. Why? Because it is only because of this, simply mad rush, right? Without thinking of emotional needs. So man is a social animal. We are human being. So this sadness of never understanding ourselves here means man in his pursuit of personal gain, he has forgotten all his emotional needs, and this along with we can say continuous self-centered activities, he has left himself sad and lonely. Right? How do we threaten ourselves with death? Very beautiful question, children. You see, when here the poet talks about when war and all, right? So here the poet Pablo Neruda says that when man involves himself in destructive activities, he indulges himself in destructive activities only for personal gain, but at the same time he forgets that he also is an inhabitant of this earth and that his destructive activities can be responsible for his death also. Fine, if I am involved in destructive activities, but at the same time I have to remember that I am also an inhabitant of this earth. If anything happens, if my activity will destroy the entire human being, then maybe this same activity can be responsible for my death also. So here, this way, we can say we threaten ourselves with death. Right? Extract number 5. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So here the last extract this is. So here the poet, who can teach us a lesson? Here the poet has given the very beautiful example of Mother Earth. Right? Mother Earth can teach us a lesson. What lesson Mother Earth can teach? We can write here, Mother Earth rejuvenates even after total annihilation. Annihilation means destruction. Rejuvenates, comes back to life again. New life emerges from the dead remains. Right? So man can also start life afresh after total destruction. Here total destruction means by self-contemplation, by removal of all the mistakes he has made. So same way, when earth can rejuvenate, right, even after total destruction and annihilation, same way, we people can also take a rebirth, right? So rebirth means here that we just leave all the negative thoughts, destructive activities, and just we can divert our mind towards the positive activities. Fine. That is what the poet wants here. And the last two lines, meaning of the last two lines, he said, now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. What does it mean? So the poet says, I have already given you the message. All right. I have explained. So now I am leaving the platform and I am giving you opportunity to keep quiet, to introspect and to do the needful, that is to lead a quality life. So children, I hope you understood. So after this video, along with this video, I am also sending one PDF file, all the question answers in extra question answers as well as extra question answers. So you please prepare well for the coming exam. Thank you. God bless you, children.